Silent on set. Audio settings.
1 2 1 2 1 2.
Camera rolling.
1 2 1 2.
And 1 2 3 action. Do, 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 do. Okay. Hello, welcome to the MadeWell Country Report with your host Tilly. Today we have got a report by Carol Barkwell showing us the lambs and when they were born with the new mums and the older mums. And we've got the weather report by Sam. Over to Carol.
Born, but it's one of ours, so it's one of our babies. I could bore for England with sheep actually. So if you notice that the baby's got a black head, yeah, you see how different the baby's head is from the mummy's head. And that, if we go over the other side, you'll see the two different flavours of rams that we've got. One lot of rams are called Suffolks and they've got black heads, and the other rams are called Texels. So this baby's dad is a Suffolk, whereas this lamb's dad is a Texel, which you can tell because one has black head and one has a white head. But they're all out of North Country mules. So all of the sheep that you see in the shed, the older sheep in the shed, are all North Country mules. So they've all come from Cumbria, and we go up to Cumbria every year and buy our mummy-to-be sheep. And then we make these two flavours of animals. Do you want that one out again then?
Yeah.
And then I'll go and get one that's been born out of an older sheep and bring it over. It's nearly ready to stand up. Nearly ready. And as soon as it does stand up, it will try and suckle. But I've had to feed this one 2 or 3 times already, because in the first 2 hours of life, they have got to get the thick milk that comes out of the mum. It's called colostrum, which is really thick and juicy. But they've got to get it within 2 hours because it's got to get into their system, because within the first 2 hours of life, the lining of their stomach is still porous to the antibodies that the mum has got in her body. But if you don't get the colostrum into the baby within the first 2 hours, it will never have the immunity to the things that it needs immunity to, so it could very well die. But you've only got 2 hours to do that. This baby is not going to stand up within the first 2 hours of its life. So if you milk the mother out and then keep feeding the baby, then it will get all of the goodness that it's supposed to get. This mum, even though she is only a lamb, she has got a beautiful amount of milk. And you can see how attentive she is to the baby. Some young sheep like this would rather run away from you than stand and be with its baby. But this mum is particularly good. So we need to just keep her milk moving, even though the baby's not having it. Otherwise, when the baby does stand up, it can't get onto the teats because the teats are too full of milk. So it's all a bit of a palaver, and if it was born in the field, it would die. So that's why we lamb everything indoors. You wouldn't attempt to lamb hogs, which is what they call 1-year-old lambs. You wouldn't attempt to lamb hogs in the field, especially this early in the season, because the babies would definitely die. Now I'm just going to go and get you this other lamb, and you'll be quite amazed. Compared to our little scrap in here, it's just no comparison, is there? So you can see why some people don't bother to lamb out of lambs, because it's going to take an awful long time to finish. Whereas this dear thing,
It's like the size of a puppy or something.
that's a biggie. That's not the biggest one we've had. The biggest one,
They're bigger.
I couldn't find it. Yeah, slightly bigger than that. Yeah, that is a big one. That's when they're only having one lamb, it's got a chance to grow a lot bigger. So they do get quite large. I won't keep it away from its mum for too long. She'll get distressed. So I'll pop it back.
Thank you, Carol, for that report. Now on to the weather forecast by Sam.
The weather is going to be pretty rainy and cloudy today. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for that weather report, Sam. We hope you enjoyed watching MadeWell Country Report. Good evening and goodbye.
What do?